Hi everybody, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a design team post for Scrapping for Less. Today I'm here making 3 different cards with the February Flavor of the Month card kit, February of 2020 from Scrapping for Less. And I'm going to be using collections 1, 2, and 4, one card from each of those collections. And my last post I made 6 cards with collection number 3, and so this one I am using all of the collections to make 1 card from each. For this first card, I'm going to kind of make my own panel. I'm using the Birthday Queen stamp set, and then I'm going to stamp that large Birthday Queen sentiment twice on there. I was kind of playing around and deciding on which way I wanted it to go, and then I just decided to make it a little off from the initial one. And then I'm going to take all of the numbers and scatter them throughout the card and stamp them multiple times on the card, and that's going to create my background panel. And I didn't leave all of it in there because it did take me a long time, because I had to do it I think 4 times total to remove them, clean them, put them back on, remove them, clean them, put them back on. So you'll just kind of see how I did it, and just like I said, move it all around. I was trying to keep it so that I didn't have 2 numbers together, the same number together in areas. I did use the Distress ink that I received as part of the kit. I received Picked Raspberry, so that's what I was using on this card, and I thought the colors went well with this collection number 3. So after I created that panel, I left the center kind of blank there because I knew I was going to be putting a strip over it. I just wanted to kind of have some of the numbers pop out of it, so I wanted to make sure I did that. But I cut this down to, and I brought out my ruler here because I wanted to measure this, because I know I made it quite a bit smaller. I made it 5 1/16 of an inch long, and I made it 3 7/8 inches wide is what I cut it down to. And then I cut a piece of the pattern paper down to 5.5 by 4.25 inches. So this is an A2 size card, and that back panel is going to be the entire size of the card and go directly over it. Then I used a circle die and just kind of cut out a piece of it. Not the entire circle, I just wanted to kind of have the one end still straight. And then the piece that I use across, I use the same piece of pattern paper that I used on the back panel, and I cut that down to about 1 1/8 inches wide, and I made it the same length or width of that panel that I made with all of the numbers. So that's a 3 7/8 inches long is that strip that I'm using on there. And then the circle itself is just under 2.5 inch circle, about 2 3/8 inch stitch circle die. And like I said, I did not cut the whole thing because I just wanted that piece to kind of give it a little extra something. I did pop up the entire panel with a piece of fun foam, and then I just popped that onto the pattern paper, and that is my first card that I made. Now, as soon as I get to the second card, I thought using tone on tone would kind of be cool. So I took the tea stamp set that is from collection number 4, or I mean the tea and the cup set, and I was using the Picked Raspberry on, I messed up the card. I scored it in the wrong area, so then I just ended up using the paper from that I was going to make a card with, so a piece of the cardstock. And then, like I said, I was kind of stamping tone on tone. So I was stamping with the Picked Raspberry onto that purple color cardstock. And I just stamped a few of the teapots and then a few of the cups all around the piece of cardstock. And I also knew I was going to be putting strips on this, or a strip. I wasn't sure which, but I knew I was going to be adding something else to it, but I just wasn't really sure where, so I just kind of stamped all over it. And again, just using that Picked Raspberry that came with the kit. Then I'm going to stamp the image of the cup and the teapot with the cup in front of it. So I did a little bit of masking there, you know, the whole cup that I had to use for masking, so that I could kind of make that cup look like it was in front of the teapot. And then I just, as part of this stamp, there's a little face with the smiley face, and so I used that on the teacup. I said teacup because I don't like coffee, so mine's a teacup. Yours can be a coffee cup if that's what you like. Then I was playing around with the sentiments and trying to figure out where I wanted them, and so I pulled out my Misty because I like using my Misty to get stamps, especially small ones and sentiments. I don't know why. It's just easier for me. And so I ended up using Mom, You're Terrific. And I was actually watching a video from Teresa yesterday, and she was complaining about when, especially when you're using these little tiny stamps and they do stick to your fingers and stick to everything, and she was like, what can I do to help that? And one of the things I found is using the back of a pencil, or the eraser from the pencil. Those erasers just seem to work really well so that they don't stick to them, and they give you the opportunity to be able to move them around and get them straight without them sticking to everything and flipping off and off the page and everything else. So that's what I find works the best. So then I just did some super simple Copic coloring for the teapot and the little cup, and I just used the pink and purple because I thought it went well with the coloring that I'm using on the on the card that I'm making right now. So the teapot, like I said, I used the blues, and I cut this out of a stitch circle die that is about 2 3/4 inches. And then I also used the same die to cut out a piece of fun foam because I do end up popping that up. And then after I cut it, just because it seems like when you use fun foam, sometimes it can kind of smush out, so it's a little bit bigger sometimes than the circle, so I just cut around the circle, you know, where the stitching was at, so that I could put it onto this card. But I just finish up this, like I said, there's nothing fancy with this coloring. I was just kind of putting the color down there, but I think this is cute as the focal point, especially with the tone-on-tone stamping behind. That's going to kind of be my card. I do use a white background for this, or card base. I thought that went well with the white that I used for the little circle. Then I use a strip down the center, and that strip is the entire length of the card, which is 5.5 inches, and then it's 1.5 inches wide. So that is what I kind of line up in the center after I decide that. And then I also use some of the enamel dots from the kit, the purple enamel dots that I just stick towards the side of the card. So that, or on each side of the card, I'm sorry, on the top right hand corner and then the bottom left hand corner of the card. And so that is my second card that I made. I hate that tape runner that I have right there. I'm just saying I don't like it, and I don't like the tape because it's kind of where it's like little dots all together, and I just have such a hard time using this tape runner. And like I said, I don't know if it's the tape runner or if it's actually the tape, but I don't like using it. But I will finish that roll before I get rid of that, and not use that anymore. And I think I actually have one refill for it, so I'm not exactly thrilled about that, but I am going to finish using that. And then I took glossy accents and I put it all over the teapot. And I gave that teapot some gloss to it, and it actually, you can't really see it in the pictures that I posted. You can see it a little better in this video, but I think it is so cute on the teapot. And then I just used my Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen to put all over the cup because I just thought that was super cute. And that's my second card. Oh, and I did use my white gel pen just to go on the top of my tea or my hot chocolate. I like that too. So just to give it that little bit of where it kind of looks like something is steaming out of it a little bit. Now my third card is the beautiful stamp set, which I did not use the stamp from it, but I cut down one of the pattern pieces. I used a black piece of cardstock for my or a black card base for the base card base of my card. Yeah, alright, let's try that again. I used a black card base for my card, and I cut out to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches the back panel from one of the paper patterns that are part of this pack. Then I cut down 2 of the exact same size pieces, a 3-inch piece by a 1 7/8 inch. So both of those black and white dot pieces are the same. Then I cut a strip that was 1/4 of an inch by the 4 1/4 inches, so it's going to go all the way across the card. And I just popped those on there. I did not pop them up or anything. I just popped them directly onto the card. And then I used the stickers that came with the kit, and I used the one that says, "We don't remember the days, we remember the moments." And for me, that holds a lot of relevance because I really try to push, and I think it's important to remember that it's not about making everything perfect. It's just about the good moments that you have. And then I also used the heart from that says "Here and Now." So I thought that was kind of perfect. So those are my 3 cards for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can head over to Scrapping for Less for all of your crafty needs, and you can stick around and check out a couple of videos that are here. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.